Hey guys, this is Mel, and I am here to talk about Supernatural episode 1120 titled Don't Call Me Shurley, which premiered Wednesday, May 4th, 2016 on the CW. And guys, I'm breaking my pattern right now. I am recording this 8 minutes since the episode has ended because, oh my god, guys, that episode was just fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. But let's quickly start 10-minute clock so I can start talking and let's begin. So something new that we learned in this episode, well, we see the return of Chuck, Shurley, and Metatron. And guess what, guys? This is the episode we get confirmation that Chuck is actually God. I mean, it's been speculated since 522 when the end of the season ended the way it did, with Chuck just disappearing in a snap of his fingers while dressed in all white, making everyone speculate the fact that he could be God. That was never confirmed nor denied at all. Chuck always came back as the creator of the Supernatural book series, and yet in this episode we get confirmation that he is God. And we actually, pretty much half of this episode was pretty much trying to figure out God's thoughts of everything, about creation, about Amara, about what has happened, what he's going through. He's actually trying to create his own autobiography, so that's why he pulls in Metatron, because he's a fantastic editor, knows his literary stuff, tries to get his input, and we learn quite a bit from that. But one thing he did point out, though, God, was that Lucifer wasn't his favorite archangel, yet he was not the villain. He specifically made that very clear, and he definitely doesn't like talking about Amara. There's definitely a lot of tension between the two of them. He definitely has a sore spot with her. He views himself as a being, while her as nothingness. While he creates, she destroys. It seems like they're pretty much opposites of each other, and he actually created a whole bunch of worlds to show Amara another way, that it doesn't just have to be the two of them anymore, and yet she always destroyed whatever world he created from the looks of it. So there's that. You definitely get a real sense of his own thoughts of her, since we already have a bit of her thoughts on him previously. So you definitely need to watch it to get a full vibe on that. Meanwhile, Sam and Dean are dealing with another Fog of Darkness case that is more powerful than they previously dealt with. But by the end of it all, they're actually saved because of God's influence, and they actually find out that God is really Chuck, thanks to Dean's amulet, or the Samulet as everyone has called it, has returned to them, and it begins like it was supposed to. And the brothers follow the glow until they find Chuck helping people from the fog's effects. And the episode ends with Chuck saying with a smile on his face that they need to talk. So that was just fantastic. So what was the most shocking moment of the episode? For me, it definitely has to be the firm confirmation that Chuck is God, because it's one thing to have it speculated, but it's another to have it proven correct, or proven to be canon. So I always love it when it's stuff like that. You always have speculation, you always have a theory, and if it's ever proven right, it just makes it all that more great, if that makes sense. So that was my shocking moment. Plus, what was also great was the fact that with Chuck being God, I always thought that the Chuck was just a facade of him playing a character, and he just played this opposite version of himself. But Chuck is essentially a part of God. So it was great to see that flip with him, where you see all the Chuck quirkiness that we've always seen previously, and then you actually see this serious intensity that is behind God, with the powerful being, this powerful creator, and all that. So it was great to see the two sides. But moving on, top 3 favorite moments of the episode. First one has to be the moment that Sam and Dean realize that Chuck is actually God. You see this stunned amazement on their face. The fact that they're looking down at the amulet saying, is this truly happening? Is this thing really glowing? And it's their friend, this guy that they've grown to see as an ally, in a sense, even though they didn't like the fact that he was writing about their life. But he's God. He has every right to write about their lives, you know? So it was just great to see their reaction to it. I can't wait to see how they react later on, but we'll get to that. It was just great to see that they actually got to find out in this episode that he is God, just like we got confirmation in this episode that Chuck was God. So it was great to see that. Another favorite moment for me definitely are the scenes between God and Metatron. It was definitely great to see that dynamic between the two of them. It's great to have that whole meta vibe going on again with them pretty much stepping in the shoes of the fans of who watch the show, especially when they're talking about the book series, which is pretty fun. And also just all the great writing tips that you get from Metatron as someone who is trying to write and be an author, hopefully, fingers crossed. It was just great to hear all these different things in a context that I actually enjoy. You know how they always say that you never really pick up on something until you apply it, or it's never really something that sticks with you unless it's associated with something you enjoy. So the fact that I'm hearing all this writing advice through Supernatural is just fantastic. I always love stuff like that, and it's amazing that we got to see it in the extent that we did and just how we got it. And then we also got to see Chuck or God singing. We got to use Rob Benedict's talents with the guitar and his voice. And although it was a very foreshadowing song he picked, I definitely like that they included it for sure. I definitely thumbs up, love it. Last favorite moment though, I'm going to move on, is the fact that Dean refused to leave Sam's side when Sam was infected. It's about time. It's great to see that at least that part is still consistent with the brothers. It's always a thing with Dean. He's not going to leave his brother's side. The only exception was that werewolf case when his hand was kind of forced since he had to take care of two supposed civilians. But it was great to see that he wasn't going to abandon his brother. So there's that. Moving on, top 3 peeved moments. I only have the one, and again, is the fact that we have no news about Castiel, who's possessed by Lucifer, and we have no news about Amara, aside from the fact that she started the Fog of Darkness, and that she has sent a message to Dean through that about the light being a lie. So, that's just it. It just bugs me that even us as an audience haven't seen any updates from them, which means that the brothers haven't gotten any updates either. So there's that. So moving on, what will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The fact that Chuck returned. That's like a huge reminder right there. Even in the title, don't call me Shurley. Chuck Shurley. So there's that. Moving on, random questions very quickly. First one, how will Sam and Dean react to Chuck really being God? Are they going to be happy in the fact that it's a familiar face, or are they going to be pissed off at the fact that it's a familiar face and God's pretty much been right in front of them this whole time and he's done nothing except travel the world and have his many partners, both male and female, he pointed out, and the fact that he's on Snapchat and just doing some random average human things while instead of dealing with the whole universal problem that's happening. So how do you think the brothers are going to react to Chuck being God? So that should be interesting to find out. Next question. Why was Dean spared from the darkness infection? Was it because of his bond to Amara, or was it because God had done something to prevent him from being infected? I think it has to do with the bond, but I don't know if timing wise that God intervened before it infected Dean, or if it just happened that way. But if you guys pinpoint exactly what happened, let me know in the comments below. Last thing, still haven't seen it, but does Dean have the mark of Cain still, or some imprint or some faded mark of where the mark of Cain used to be? Because I don't think we've seen Dean's sleeves rolled up at all to a point where to show where the mark of Cain used to be before Amara was released. I'm still waiting to see whether he has it or not. But if anyone else has picked up on whether or not he does, let me know, please. I want to know. lastly, predictions. Based off the promo for 11/21, it looks like Dean talks to Chuck about Amara, and it seems that Amara hunts down Chuck, aka her godly brother. Based off the synopsis, though, it looks like Amara taunts Dean with visions of how Lucifer, who is possessing Cass, is being tortured, which then provokes the Winchesters into setting out on rescuing Castiel. Don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll have to wait and see. There's my timer. So close. But overall predictions, though, like I've been saying for a while for this season, is that God has now appeared, and it is Chuck. So now I'm waiting for a Chuck versus Amara scene, and I really think the final showdown has to be between the two of them. Although I think that since Amara is a big bad, it has to stem more than one season. Otherwise, she's just going to be some small fish like the Leviathans or Crowleys and Demon Tablets or Lilith or any of the small fish that the Winchesters had to deal with, and that's kind of not right considering Amara is the darkness. She's biblical and on God's level type thing, so there's that. Also, I'm hoping that we actually see Castiel as himself and not being possessed by Lucifer. Hopefully we'll see that in the next episode, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like about it? What did you think about it all? What can you take away from it? Let me know in the comments below. I love to hear about it, as well as your own thoughts, theories, and predictions on what is to come in the last 3 episodes of the season. Wow, coming very close to the end here, guys. Also, if you want a more detailed recap of the episode, check out my LiveJournal account. The entry for that has a link down below. It's more of a play-by-play what happened in the episode as I watch it for the first time, as well as my in-moment thoughts as well. So go check that out. Also, if you want more news about Supernatural, whether it's promos, sneak peeks, web clips, joke quotes, gifs, anything like that, check out my Tumblr account. Link for that is down below. One for this episode and one for a page that'll lead you to all the Supernatural related tags. I'm a little behind on Tumblr, so if it's an empty page right now, I do apologize if you're checking it May 4th around there, but by the end of the weekend, I hope to get something up. I definitely need a lot of catching up to do for Tumblr, but I do appreciate your patience, and thank you guys for watching. Again, much appreciated. Sorry for the delay for everything else. Like I said, huge event at work happening, so it's piling up with hours, so it's taking away from my recording time and editing. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you tune in next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel. Wishing you all a great day, great week wherever you are. Have a great day, everyone, and don't forget to celebrate Mother's Day. Bye for now.